Hey guys, it's Paradise, and today we had a massive reveal of a new Monster Hunter game that we've actually been long awaiting since the collaboration was first announced all the way back in 2022. This new game is called Monster Hunter Outlanders, and it's finally dropped its first proper trailer, introducing a look at some CGI, but also more importantly some gameplay clips. And even though it's a mobile game, it actually looks like a Monster Hunter game. There's what looks like a big open world area, a bunch of monsters from Monster Hunter World were shown, and again this is on mobile. The game is still in development, and this is likely an early version, so hopefully there's time to optimize. One of Timi's other upcoming games, Delta Force, that we've played was super smooth. So from what we're seeing here for Outlanders, it's got me and 2.6 highly interested. So we will go through the trailer, but so far we've seen returning weapons like the longsword, dual blades, and even bow, actual open world areas with monsters, and some crazy gliders even with a catapult. So it's definitely looking like something that I want to learn more about and actually try out. I have always enjoyed playing mobile games on the side with things like Honkai Star Rail, Pokemon Go, recently Pokemon Pocket, and even some Monster Hunter now, which I did have fun with for a time. But mobile games have never really been 2.6's thing. With Monster Hunter now, after a certain point, we didn't really vibe that much with the gameplay, the grindiness, and the microtransactions, which made it quite hard to really get into, so we didn't end up covering that too much here on the channel. But that said, Outlanders here has us genuinely intrigued. While there's still a lot we don't know, the world and snippets that we've seen so far are looking pretty promising. So we're staying hopeful and excited to see what's in store for us with this one. The trailer opens with a CGI segment, starting with a look at a mountain covered in strange orange crystals, and there's some kind of massive glowing monster flying through the clouds, but it's very difficult to see what it actually could be. It is reminding me of Altura, but I think that might be wishful thinking. Next up, we can see the classic Hunter in Rathalos gear, and a look at a new companion monkey creature that I actually really love the look of. It's even standing on a catapult device that we can see later on in some gameplay. Then we see the Hunter in Rathalos gear again using a zipline to land with another character that looks like they're holding some kind of dual blades on their back. After all of this, a Rathian emerges, and it seems to be glowing with energy similar to the crystals nearby, and the Hunter pulls out a longsword while the other character pulls out her dual blade style weapons with what looks like a sort of dancer themed armor set, and while it's similar to Kulu's armor set, it's definitely different. The logo pops up, which shows what looks like crystals throughout the Outlanders wording, perhaps emphasizing the crystals that we saw before and how they may impact the monsters in the world. But also, I just really like the look of the logo, and of course there's a monster built into it, as there usually is with Monster Hunter logos, which is reminding me a bit of Zinogre with the horns and spikes, but I'm sure this is a new creature, perhaps the flagship or an important one in the story. After this, we get some of the good stuff. A zoom through a large forest-looking area with some fiery glowing rocks or crystals off to the left. We also see several Aptonoths roaming around, which is a nice touch. In the next scene, we finally see a monster in the world, and it's an Anjanath holding a great Jagras in its jaws, so we'll no doubt be able to fight both of these monsters in the full game. After this, we see a nighttime scene of a swampy area with some Kelby, but up in the tree to the left we can spot a Toby Kadachi, which is a monster I absolutely loved fighting in World, so it's pretty cool to see him here too. In fact, all of the large monsters in this trailer seem to be World-introduced monsters, suggesting they're trying to capture that Monster Hunter World feeling, which honestly, I quite like. In keeping with this, we have a desert oasis style area with a Geratados that dive bombs a Kestodon, taking it down. Honestly, Geratados is one monster from World I would have rather stayed in World, but then again, at least it's not Levasioth, as that was super annoying to hunt. And after this, it looks like we're seeing the player control the character from before with the dual blades, as they fly up high in a glider over a massive map. The world itself looks pretty massive, with a desert area on the left, a foresty cliff locale on the right, and a fiery lava-looking area in the back. The fact that there's a glider in this is pretty crazy for a Monster Hunter game, but it will make exploring this big world much more pleasant. After this, we can see the Rathalos Hunter with a longsword swimming through some water, which is crazy given the hype of people wanting laggy to return as well as underwater combat. Of course, we don't know if this is just swimming or actual underwater combat, it's probably just for traversal, and we can even see a Gajau chase the hunter out of the water. After this though, there is a crazy clip of a bow character sliding down a hill at Mach 10. Again, there's those fiery rocks or crystals off to the background in the left, and the bow actually matches the theme of the armor set, and it looks like it's to do with wood or trees or a forest or something like that, but again, I don't think I've seen these before. Wedge Beetles also look to be back with the Rathalos Hunter swinging between some trees, and also climbing on some rocks overlooking a massive desert area. So I'm guessing we can swing, climb, and glide in this game. The next part is something I found really cool though. The hunter gets into that catapult or ballista device that we saw earlier in the CGI and launches themselves into the sky to open up their glider and travel across the area, which again looks pretty sizable for mobile. Interestingly, there's a massive tree as a central point in the area, but there's also several broken and ruined boats in the middle, suggesting this area may have been water at one point and is now drained. Plus, there's an Anjanath roaming in the distance, which is pretty cool. After the camera zooms out, we can really see the big scope of this area, and the top of the big tree definitely looks like a place to fight something. We can even see the wings of a large creature in the last seconds of the trailer here, but I can't quite make out what creature this is. Finally, we see the hunter's map of the area, and it looks like there's 3 distinct islands or locales, with a desert and darker fiery area to the left, the forest and swampy area in the middle, and a canyon area in the lower right. Now, the game is currently only announced on mobile, which is interesting since a lot of big mobile games lately, like Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, are both on mobile and PC. And I get it, mobile might be a red flag for some of you, given many Monster Hunter players are predominantly console or PC gamers, so I would usually agree. But here's where it gets interesting. This game is a collaboration between Timi Studio Group and Capcom, and if we look at their track record, there's a lot of potential for this to be something cool. Timi have made massive games before, like Call of Duty Mobile, Pokemon Unite, and even Delta Force, which we've been playing recently. Most of their games' monetization seems to be through cosmetics, skins, or a battle pass style system, rather than pay to win. So hopefully this is a good sign, right? And speaking of Delta Force, we've played a bunch of it, and the polish on that game is insane, and it's not even fully released yet. It has smooth FPS, solid visuals, and tons of quality of life features for an extraction and Battlefield style game. The good news is they've already said for Delta Force that there won't be pay to win, although we'll have to wait for the full release to confirm. But with all of this in mind, I'm cautiously optimistic about this one. Outlanders is shaping up to be something really intriguing, and I actually want to play it. But that said, Timi is a subsidiary of Tencent, so we'll have to wait and see what that monetization is like. But fingers crossed, and time will tell. For now though, we're very interested in this, and we can't wait to learn more, and hopefully we'll get that soon. So drop a like below if you want to keep up to date on all things Monster Hunter, and we have more videos on Monster Hunter and your favorite games coming very, very soon.